so.
Oh, it's my mug. Hey, what's going on out there? It's Phil Berg, Travels with Uma, and we got Paul Efron on today. Is the camera going to get over there? Oh, look at that.
Morning.
Yeah, it is morning. And we got Lena on the camera this morning. She is the best. She even made Paul up.
That's right, but she had to send out for help, and the person kept walking and didn't return. That's the problem.
So I don't even know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about stuff today. We're going to talk about whatever Paul wants to talk about.
Here's where we're going to go today, because as you can see, I'm going through my papers. Today is the 11th of January, 2009. It's a beautifully crisp day out here on the east end of Long Island. Actually, it's a crisp day down in South Florida, which is where I live. Someone called me this morning that it snowed in Orlando this weekend. They were in a race for a charity, and it was snowing, and they had to go out and spend $400 on clothing so they'd be able to continue the race. You know, I may not look like I'm upset or depressed. I'm really not, because I don't get depressed. However...
You look depressed to me.
Really? Well, call my doctor. That's my Mick Jagger, Mr. Doctor, Mr. MD. No, I got a call at 9:30 or 10 last night from my cat sitter in Florida, that my cat wasn't acting right, and she's 19 years old, and she was born in my house, actually, because her mother, who I adopted, was pregnant, little to my knowledge, when she came into the house, and then a week and a half or 2 weeks later, she gave birth to 5 kittens in my house, and we videotaped it, and it was great, So I gave away 4 of the kittens, and Shadow, who just died, by the way, at 3 o'clock this morning in Florida, she was the runt of the litter, and I couldn't give her away. And it turned out that as she grew, she turned out to be 2.5 or 3 times the size of all of the others. She became the biggest from the smallest. And she was a beautiful cat. And the reason that I led off with that this morning, and it's going to turn into a positive show, because I even told Carol when she called me with the news, the woman who was watching Shadow, and she was sad, and, I wish you could have been here. And I said, Carol, thank God you were there. Thank God Shadow was comforted till the very end. And she's going to wherever it is we do or don't go after this journey. And what it caused me to think about, because that was about 3 o'clock this morning, was the fragility of life. And whether you're an animal, mineral, or vegetable, we're going to leave. This is not a permanent experience that we're in the middle of. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite sayings is, this is not a dress rehearsal. Today is the only today you're going to get. So you can do whatever you want with it. You can make it the best today on planet Earth. Or you can wallow in your own, self-pity and poor me and whatever the situation is, and create misery and disharmony wherever you go. I try to bring a little joy and happiness and gratitude on my journey. Now, that's what it's about, because for so long, I was really a person you didn't want to be around. And today, I can say, my wife notwithstanding, most people do want to be around me. When I thought of Shadow this morning, I'm going to give you a little scenario, and it involves 2 of my closest friends that also have passed, that are going to be there to greet Shadow when she arrives, wherever there is. 18 years ago, or 19 years ago, when Shadow was born in my house, Lenny Morgenbesser, God rest his soul, who was a veterinarian, but he also stuttered. And he was a friend of mine from New York. I knew Lenny 40 years or more. And we hung around in the same places down in Florida and in New York, and we were pretty close. So I do a lot of speaking around town, and I sent Lenny to my house one night and to check on the cat, on her mother, Honeycat. Shadow's mother was named Honeycat because I finally, when she walked in my house as a stray, and my son asked me if we could keep her, and then we named her Honey because I was finally able to say, Honey, I'm home, and nobody talked back at me. So it was a good feeling in general. So I sent Lenny to my house to check on the kittens that were just born. And for the next year or 2 or 3 years, I would always say from the podium, I would say, and Lenny, if that kitten is stuttering, I'll know that you were involved in this birth. Because that was what we liked to play with each other. Now, my very dearest friend, Maurice Moreno, died 2 years ago. Suddenly. As a matter of fact, Maurice, one of the greatest, happiest, most joyous people you ever would have wanted to meet, never complained about anything, attempted to help everyone and anyone at any time, always had a smile on his face. And it was in November or December 2 years ago, and he called me up and he said, Doc, because that's what he called me, it was my nickname. He had a little lump by his groin, very small, and he was just going to the doctor to just have it looked at. And he called me, and it was the end of November, it was right around Thanksgiving, and he called me, or before Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and he called me and he says, after he went